Um, oh, you know what? Because the last time we did art was the live stream. Where's the art? I'm sorry. I was like, where did it go? Why did it disappear? Also, welcome into the guppies. Welcome into the minnows. I'm so sorry that the tide pool wasn't working at the beginning of the stream. Sometimes the bot just takes a little bit to load when I open it up, and I'm not quick enough to tell people like, not yet, guys. Don't tide pool yet. Um, so funny seeing Duolingo Twitch partner considering what you just said about them on Sunday. I don't even remember what I said. I believe you though. I don't like Duolingo. That hasn't changed regardless of my memory. Hi Critter, hope you're well. My prints, posters and stickers arrived today and they're so cute. 90% of my wall is prints from you. Oh wait, that's so cool. Also, Blue Kisses, thank you for the resub. What is that emoji though? Hello, every fury. Hello. This design is literally so cute. I love big sleeves and chunky shoes. You understand. You get me. Also, let me start captions, and that should be, yeah, there we go. Duolingo is evil. I hate AI. True and beautiful. I keep getting the thing that's so crazy is that they're playing for two teams because they're doing the stuff on Twitch, like the sponsor on Twitch, and I'm also getting ads on YouTube. Like they just blocked my entire YouTube chat, so I couldn't read YouTube chat. Just to be like, why does no one like me anymore? And I'm just like, because you fired your human employees, dumbass. Also, it wasn't even really a good language learning program to begin with, but I only learned that from other people. You know what was the most upsetting part of missing so many streams? Finding out that I almost caught, the one I almost caught had people talking about Yokai Watch, my current special interest. I'm so sorry. The CD Halo Big Brained. Thank you. I love unconventional Halos. I love unconventional anything. Like when I used to design angel characters in high school for a now long dead project that I wanted to work on. That was like one of my early webcomic ideas. I was like, anything that has wings and arms can be an angel. So I was making bugs. I was making dragons. I was making birds. Like I had a bat angel. Like I was just going crazy. Anything was an angel. Her streaming, yep. Gotta put the stream on the CRT TV monitor. Oh, that's awesome. It's good for me. Just ordered my first print from you. The Hollow Knight hyperfixation has me in a chokehold. It's directed my hands to reach for the Hornet print. Low Marauder. I don't want to like encourage you more, but like I have this canvas to work on possible sticker designs because I have been wanting to practice and make some more ones. Question about adopts. Do you need a Toy House page to bid, or can you bid without one? You need a Toy House page. However, I do give out Toy House codes, and I will do that again tonight, if that's something that people want. These aren't even needed for an angel. A supercomputer covered in wires is an angel. This is true. It just requires something fanning out from the center point. Watching with the sound off because I'm on the bus and forgot my headphones. No! I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Worm Wife. But yeah, I'm practicing doing sticker designs because I do want to do the sticker club in 2026. It's a goal. It's not like a guarantee. It's something I would like to have happen. But I'm gonna work like I plan to have it happen, and so then if I don't, I'll at least have the experience and some cool stickers designs coming out of it. You can also give out codes tonight. As usual, I got 16 of them. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Toasty. This is off topic, but how do you come up with poses for reference sheets? I feel like mine are either really boring or aren't just good, or just aren't good for reference sheets. So here's the thing that I'll remind you. These poses that I do here, they're technically not reference sheets. These are like what I would call splash arts, I guess, because they show the full body design. But the reason I'm actually doing two for this one is because I felt like the specific pose that I did for this one didn't show enough of the design, so I had to do an additional pose. When I do reference sheets, I mostly just do a pose, like hands down to the side. What's your Toy House user? My Toy House username is Fourleaf. It's not Fourleaf Island. Actually, I've always been kind of scared to see if someone took Fourleaf Island. The way I jumped and screamed, the bugs, they have my debit card. I understand. I completely understand. I was playing Silk Song before stream today, and I don't think I've ever... Oh no, mute tab. I don't think I've ever, why did I open this? I meant to open Toy House. I don't think I've ever, like, talked about what my workday, like, realistically looks like. Okay. I took Four Leaf Island. I just didn't use it. I forgot I have two Toy House accounts. I'm glad because I didn't want anyone to be pretending to be me. What's your last boss fight in Silksong? So I didn't get to a boss fight, but I did get to like one of those mini boss rushes that was in the Citadel, which is just like a bunch of like enemies. I guess it's an enemy rush. It's not a boss fight. And I got to the one that's in something Heights. Um, and yes, Toy House codes are from paid accounts. I pay for my Toy House account because I pay for like premium because I sell adopts and because I kind of wanted to make my page look a little more professional and I like having control over CSS. Also, Critter, if you want, you can rename your main account Four Leaf Island. I could do that. I kind of like having it as Four Leaf. Here's what I would do, right? Here's the thought. If I could change if I changed Four Leaf Island to my like main like business hub account, I would make Four Leaf my personal account, and I might transfer some characters over there that aren't for like projects, because I figure that would be like it'll be like a little more private than having just like 5 billion people looking at my OCs at all times. You could even make your characters more private, like awesomely. Yeah, that is true. I'd say that's awesome. I love you, Lemmy. Watching you draw angel adopts while drawing my own angel cat furries. Oh my god, I found something out about... Okay, so I will say that after last night, the look outside autism has, like, me in a vice grip, and I was delighted to find out that... And I've said this theory before. When a fandom for something is, like, in this healthy stage, it's not the beginning stage of the fandom, but it's like this kind of not very well known but like known enough that there's art of it stage of the fandom, the art and the stuff that's coming out of it is phenomenal. Like when mouthwashing was in demo and like the first few weeks that mouthwashing came out, the mouthwashing artwork and analysis was perfect. It was absolutely gorgeous. It was exactly what I would want out of a fandom for mouthwashing. It was like 2 months into mouthwashing coming out when it started getting played by like bigger YouTubers, which by the way is fine. Like everyone has the freedom to play a game and also get that bag. I was really happy for Wrong Organ. Lancer's the one that says, okay, that's why you said Lancer reference. No, but like the thing is, I can't even get mad at people who see that and that's like they think Anya is that way. Because to me, that's not like a deliberate mischaracterization. That is just them. They're not reading very deeply into the story. Rousey says that after Lancer makes a team of only supports. Awesome. Wait, no, I do remember that line. Because it was the heart guys, right? Or it was Kathy, the heart enemy. I feel like fandom has this problem due to pure overindulgence and escapism. Actually, Mary, that's exactly what I was going to get to. And I remember this specifically happened when mouthwashing came out, is people were trying to make, like, fix-it AUs for it. And I was sitting there and I'm like, I don't think you understand the purpose of this story. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to indulge. I think that indulging in fiction is healthy. I think that it's good for you. And I especially understand if you relate to the character of Anya wanting to give her a happy ending, because God knows I wanted her to have a happy ending. But I also think that, like, out of respect for the work of the creators and an understanding of why the work was made in the first place, it's very hard for me to engage with, like, fix-it AUs, because the reason that it's a tragedy is because if all of this happened because the characters were the people that they were. And if it didn't happen, they would have had to been different people, right? Like, Curly, in any other situation, if it was another man, maybe would have stopped things. But specifically because it was Jimmy, he didn't. So there's really no way for mouthwashing to have ended happy except for Curly to have a character development that we've already seen was out of character for him. Even after everything that happened would have been out of character for him. Sometimes the way fans act about tragedies is very much asking for a boiling water from a stove feeling. Yes. Also, hello, I love the art. Thank you, Venti Lover, and welcome in. All of this to say, the reason that I've been enjoying looking through the Look Outside tag, like, so far, is that I haven't encountered that once. Like, every single person understands the assignment and the characters very, very well. And it's a really nice mix of, like, kind of silly artwork as well as, like, just genuinely really good horror imagery. And I think that the thing that's different with Look Outside versus Mouthwashing too is that Look Outside actually is very conducive to shipping. Like, there are a lot, not only are there a lot of gay-esque characters in Look Outside, I also feel like Sam is just the most bisexual protagonist. Like, oddly, he is not very resistant to being romantic with the giant monsters, which is awesome, by the way. Sam McLyle is very cute. I think they're funny. The Look Outside fandom on Tumblr is genuinely pleasant, and also everyone's nice to the kids. That's like one of the first times in a fandom I've ever seen people be nice to kid characters. Like, without fail, there are, in every fandom space I've ever fucking been in, if there is a child, someone will be nasty as shit about the child, and I'm just sitting here like, what? They're not even real. What did they do? They don't exist. If you don't like them, that's fine. What brush are you using? It's a brush that I built, actually. It's in my FAQ. It's not too difficult to make. It's like 2 steps. Gay-esque. I don't know how else to say it. Like, I don't know if they're canonically gay, but, like, if you told me they were, I wouldn't be surprised. I just don't like to assume. Like, I'm like, well, I don't know. I hate you. I am 5 years old. I remember when the whole oversimplification of characters became huge in the Amazing Digital Circus, especially, which is ironic because Jax literally pointed out in episode 6. That was something I was thinking about too, actually. It's really funny because the oversimplification of characters is actually why I kind of stepped away from and avoided the Amazing Digital Circus at first. But I did keep watching it as the new episodes came out, and the longer that I did, the more I liked it. The more I was like, oh, they're like going somewhere with this. Like they're actually like writing the characters. They're not just tropes. And that was surprising and also really nice to see. I've never seen The Amazing Digital Circus, but should I? I would say yeah. I would say of the web series that are coming out right now, I like it quite a lot. Generally had no bad experiences in the fandom so far, besides the one person whose pre-visitor design for a character I didn't like. I understand that. Fandom's gotten a lot better since the show has pushed for a more mature audience. I understand that, God, the YouTube... Sorry, what are they? Content farm videos. Every time I see what the new content farm, like, thing that they've latched onto is, I am fascinated, because I'm like, this... The content farm, hell, sorry, I remember seeing a bunch of, like, Amazing Digital Circus content farm stuff, like, the people, like, making fun of it, but, like, I was astounded. I was like, this is, like, are kids actually watching The Amazing Digital Circus? I don't feel like it's scary, but, like, I feel like a lot of it would go over their head, but maybe that's, like, maybe they don't care. Maybe they're just looking at the colors. I don't know. I don't think kids are stupid, but some of the things I'm like, are they engaging with this? Whenever someone talks about woobification or flanderization, my brain goes straight to Papyrus from Undertale. Every single Undertale character has been, like, victimized personally by people misunderstanding their characters. Sans is another one, actually. I don't even consider myself, like, a Sans fan. I don't think that Sans... I actually like Sans as a character, but I'm just, like, not that interested personally. But as someone that doesn't consider myself that interested, I am so surprised by people that say they love Sans as a character, who I just feel like completely misunderstand his character. I just wanted to let you know that I binged all your ARC tutorials and it's helped a ton. Oh, Loba, that's awesome! And thank you for stopping in. Think structure of Look Outside is also conducive to people being a bit more, I don't know a good word, like there's an interesting mix of hopeful options and all considered despite the horrors. Yes, absolutely. And I think it requires more patience. I'm not gonna lie. I think because Look Outside is a more traditional RPG, you can't just kind of like speed click through it, and the information that you get out of it is very different depending on how you play. So you could just go through and kill everything if you didn't really feel like being patient and trying to figure it out. Wait, is there music? No, there should be music playing. I think it's just between 2 songs. But if it's quiet, I can turn it up. Let me know. It does look like it's a little low for you guys right now. Hold on, let me skip and see if it's a little louder for the next song. Okay, there we go. It's playing. Um, One thing I will say though is, and this is to backtrack from this. I don't actually get mad when I see characters being written out of character because I usually just disengage, like it's not for me. But I do understand that there's value in experimenting with. Should I turn the music up a little bit too? Because so you're saying that the Look Outside fandom has good fandom because it requires you to actually pay attention to the art you're experiencing? Yeah, it does do that. It does do that. Um, I feel like the problem is that people don't like character stories that have complexity and slash nuance, so they try to dumb it down to what they think it should be. Yes, 100%. Honestly, sometimes I'm scared that will happen with my comic, and I try not to I try not to write to that. Like, I try not to write to the people that I'm scared will, like, water down my characters, because I realize that if I want to like what I've written in, like, 5 years, I need to write it the way that the way I know it should exist. However, there were some things, sometimes out of character is just someone's self-indulgent projection or such, so it's not worth being mad about. Exactly, that's exactly how I feel. And, like, even to the degree, like I said, I have complex feelings on it because I think sometimes there's like a level. The phrase "in poor taste" is actually a really good one to use here. There's things that I don't think are like hashtag canceled, like evil, like you're going to hell. But there's just things that I look at and I like kind of wrinkle my nose and I'm like, that's really not appropriate considering the subject matter that's being discussed. But I'll just not engage. Like that, I feel like that just does everyone so many more favors than trying to like proselytize to this random stranger on the internet. Because I also don't know why they're doing it or like what it does for them. Also, I don't really care that much. But on the same note, I do think that there's something fun about like taking a character. Oh, OC means out of character. I don't know, but there's something fun about taking a character and like over time your interpretation of them just kind of transforms them into a completely different guy that they essentially just become an OC. Because I think that that has happened with a lot of artists. I know it's happened with my own work, and I do think that that's funny. So I try to like leave space in my brain for that too. Like when I see something that I'm like, you have completely misinterpreted this character, I try to step back and go, they may have misinterpreted the character from the media, but they're making something new. And that in itself is interesting. I low-key don't give a fuck out of characterization if it's funny and not disrespectful. For me, it depends on how well it's done. Because I don't, like I said, I don't get mad, but I just won't engage with it. Like, I find that a lot of the times when I want to engage in fandom spaces, my standards get, like, in the way of me being able to, like, just shut my brain off. I can't escape the writer part of my brain, so I often go, well, he wouldn't do that. Well, that's not true. That they disproved this. And it's like, okay, hold on. You're supposed to be enjoying yourself. Who is acting out of character? No, sorry. No one's acting out of character. I was talking about people, like, writing characters out of character, but I didn't specify any specific one. I mean, I guess, like, an example that I could give you is, like, people misinterpreting Sans. But I don't think that, like, people... well, first of all, I'm not really reading anything that has Sans in it. I don't really read Undertale fanfiction. It's fine if you do. It's just not what I'm here for. But I have seen, like, art and comics and stuff that depict him, and I'm like, I don't think you understand how he acts. I don't think you get this character, but that's okay. As Toby said, make 500 skeletons. First time watching your streams, you've been such an inspiration to me recently after I discovered you and inspired me to dive in and start doing backgrounds. Oh, that's awesome. And welcome in, Emska. Just tuning in, what are we talking about? Just talking about, like, fandomification of characters and, like, writing characters in general. Like, and something I've noticed when fandom spaces get too big. Do you mind if I redrew Leica with the Asgore car meme running over Road Boy? Yeah, actually, that's awesome. I would love that. Personally, I call it fandomization. That's like the best term that I can think of, and I've seen other people use before. Also, thank you for the hydrate. Holding space for out of characterness. I try. Like, I want people to have fun. I am my okay. I think I even said it before. My standards for what I want to engage with and like what I want to consume is part like of a fan base. Do not dictate what I think should and shouldn't exist, because I understand that different people want different things out of the art that they consume. However, I am a bit of a snob, and that gets in the way a lot of the time. And it means that, like I said, when a fandom gets too big for me, I find that I stop enjoying the stuff that comes out of it. The fandomification of a character, Swap Sands, and his evil alternate Blueberry, aka the softie. I don't know any of the Sans AUs. Me too, Critter. I'm glad that I'm not alone. What I was going to say, I don't even mean cringe. I have no hatred in my heart. Like, I think that understanding that people having fun is not illegal or, like, doing anything evil, I just simply don't enjoy it, is that these things can coexist. Honestly, I personally love all the stuff people come up with usually. It like I said, it heavily depends for me. I think if it's like a character, I can tell a person is projecting onto a character. I actually like to see that, because, you know, it's true. Your Blurbo can be you. I believe it. Yeah, FAQ if you just do it. There you go. It does get a little tiring when you care about a given character outside of a given ship. Stop! I just saw something about that. Me when I like Tenna, but I don't care about Spamton. I like Tenna. I think he's funny. I don't give a fuck about Spamton. He's a roach to me. Like, I don't hate... Okay, maybe I do hate Spamton. I don't know. Like, my feelings are not strong enough that I can constitute it as hatred, because that would require energy. But when I see Spamton, I feel enraged. I feel like the minion girl who, like, is gripping the minion and, like I can't stand to look at it. Like, that's how I feel with Spamton. And because I like Tenna, it's like you can't ever see that guy without seeing Spamton, and it's like, okay, I guess he'll die. I love Spamton and I love Tenna, but I don't care about the ship at all. I just don't care. I don't care. I'm sorry. I love gay people, but I simply do not care about the yaoi of the week most of the time. I think that it's boring. You know what else? The older that I get, too, I do not care for... I'm, like, stroking my whiskers, because I wouldn't say that Spamton is, like... or Spamton is queerbait, because there is some, like, implication that they had a relationship. Like, they may just be gay. I don't care for gay characters that are not explicitly gay. Like, I don't care about subtlety anymore. Just make them gay at that point. Like, and nothing wrong with Toby Fox either. I fucking love that guy. Clearly, Toby will put gay characters in his game. Understand that I'm picking him up and I'm moving him out of this conversation. I'm specifically talking about Spamtana here. And it's not the point of his character. Although I will say I don't love gay characters being only gay and, like, having that be their only trait. But that's a separate issue. It makes me so annoyed when a piece of media introduces two male characters at a roughly similar time and the fandom goes, yay, new couple just dropped, regardless of their actual interactions or chemistry or anything. Like, baby girl, please take off the yaoi goggles. You understand. What adopt are you drawing? This one. I'm drawing a character that I made that was kind of like WII U Wi-Fi themed. I feel like there's a lot more intrigue to his character, but the fandom can only focus on how quirky his tics are. Yeah, that was my other thing. I'm trying to think. I do not care for the Godfather. What is about them that you like, hate? Do you mean Spamtena? Oh, I just think it's boring, frankly. Like, I could name 1,000 more gay people dynamics that are more interesting to me than Divorced. I've been on Divorced Island. I've, like, done this. I was there for Red and Tom Nook, and I do agree Red and Tom Nook are divorced. Obviously, I would agree that Spamton and Tenna are probably also divorced. But at this point, I'm tired of divorce. I'm tired of divorce. I would like to see characters that have more to their gayness than just like quirky antics. To me, Spamtena, despite any game signs, feels too subtle to feel like it actually exists in game. And to me, it really feels like it's a fandom ship that someone came up with, not a real thing. I could, like, even if it is a real thing, I could see it being a real thing. It just doesn't intrigue me. I don't feel like becoming a MatPat level theorist for gay content anymore. I just want the characters to be gay. Maybe I'm lazy. I don't know. Also, I just engage with stuff that's written by gay people a lot of the time. So when I see the things that, like, fandom spaces are going crazy over, I kind of just look at it and I'm like, this is it? Like, this is what's making everyone go nuts? Toby seems like he's more interested in writing lesbian couples, and thank God for that. Literally, thank God for that. Actually, do you know what gay characters I am invested in is Chris, Susie, and Noelle. They have some insane shit going on between the three of them, and I am here for it 100%. I fucking love it. I love the strange, like, in every single way that you play the game, there is something gay going on, but it's not always good. I think that's awesome. Should give us a recommendation list. I think you should read The Pervert by Remy Boydell if you're an adult, because that shit made me, like, feel ill for multiple days after reading it. It's phenomenal, but it will make you feel, like, really sick. I mean, honestly, any of Alison Bechdel's work is interesting. I really liked, oh my god, it's the one about her dad, and I can't fucking remember it for the life of me. I have Are You My Mother, but I don't think she named that one in the same... Fun Home, thank you. God, that was good, but... Too old for queerbait, the furry has ascended. I don't give a fuck about queerbait. I'm just gonna write gay characters. Swimtum is fine. I don't care about him that much, but Tenadude, my favorite Deltarune May boss by a long shot. Absolutely love the Stroh Stealer character archetype. Well, he's cute. I think he's funny. Sick which way? Like, it made me feel like a week-long stint of depression. Actually, you know who else is a gay character that I love that I feel like the fandom sleeps on? Greg and Angus from Night in the Woods. People, like... I think the thing is that, like, people want characters that they can ship, but beyond the romantic aspect of the shipping, it's like they don't care about the characters at all. And I think that Greg and Angus are one of my favorite romantic couples because they, like, they clearly love each other, but they still have conflict that makes complete sense from both sides of, like, the story. I thought, oh, people love them. Night in the Woods is great, but I don't feel like people engage with them the way that I would want them to engage with them. I have seen some good artwork of Greg and Angus, and, like, good writing of Greg and Angus. Fine, I'll do it myself. I mean, yeah, that's how I've approached most writing. I get tired of, like, being told to do things myself sometimes. I do turn evil. I'm like, what if I don't want to? What if I just want them to be that way? But if I have to, I will. Greg, this is my corner means so much to me. And the fucking... Also, and this is very, very important, I think this gets glossed over in fandom spaces, Greg and Angus are developed individually. The Pervert is by Remy Boydell. Greg and Angus are developed very well apart from each other as well. Like, it's not... I'm like, there's not a term for it, I don't know. Like, obviously, the Bechdel test exists as a way to talk about how the women in a story are handled and whether they exist beyond being accessories for men. Although I do think it's really funny that the original, like, the origin of that test was not anything about, like, feminist praxis. It was literally just so that they could pretend the characters were lesbians, but I digress. Well, so what I was going to say is I feel like we need a Bechdel test for characters that people ship. Like, do they interact... First of all, do they interact, like, actually romantically, or do they just talk to each other? Second of all, if they are a romantic couple, do they get developed outside of each other? Or if they don't, is their relationship the centerpiece of the story? Because I feel like there's a way to develop romantic characters while in a relationship with each other that doesn't, like, decenter their character development. Their characters first and a couple second, exactly. And that's how people are. Like, I actually think that one of the biggest troubles that people run into this with is like once. Also, this is another pet peeve, so you can kill me for this. I don't care. Um, I actually hate when romance ends with the characters getting together. I would much rather read a romance where the characters have been together for years than one where the story, it's like fade to black when they finally confess. I think that shit's stupid. I think it's annoying. I think that it shows that the only thing that the author knows how to write is pining. They don't actually know how to write characters in a relationship. And here's the thing. If you are someone... Sorry, I just cracked my knuckles. If you're someone that's not in a relationship and this is applying to you, I'm actually not mad at you. You probably feel a little seen right now, but I will tell you this. You should start to think what happens after the curtains fall. Because if you want to be in a relationship, you have to start thinking about the person that you want to be with, your ideal person, as a human being rather than object of your affection. And this is a trap that so many like yearners and piners fall into, I found. That they do not think about the person that they want to be with as a human being. They think of them as a goal, like an end goal. And then when there are complicated issues or there are hard topics to discuss, they don't know how to handle it. I'm going to say something evil. I think there are people who tend to perceive important friendship moments in media as romantic, and it kind of feels like it cheapens them to me. No, I actually completely agree. Specifically, I've seen people interpret particular Susie and Rousey moments as romance, and it's like, have you not had friends before? Here's my eviler take. You shouldn't date someone you're not friends with. And I don't think that... I think the fact that people only interpret closeness as romantic is a sign, one, that they don't really have close relationships with their friends, and two, that they are viewing romance as this heightened thing from friendship, like over friendship, like higher than friendship, when in reality, I think that the difference between the person that you date and your other friends is just the person you date is probably your best friend. Drives me crazy is how my now not so friends only exclusively read yaoi and they visibly cringed when I brought up Yuri. No! I would not survive. I would simply die. I'm so glad that I grew up with mostly lesbians as friends because I've never experienced this in my life. Actually, oh no, I started coloring in white. The one time I did experience it, I was like, oh, I don't want to play with you anymore. Like the fucking Toy Story, like Andy dropping Woody, and we just never really talked again. If we can't kiki about Yuri and yaoi together, it's over. Not to mention if you... came here to draw along. Why am I being called out right now? Sorry, I want to help you. I understand we're all at different parts of our journey, and if I can assist you, I would love to. How do you survive in this world without Yuri? Literally cold, sad. Can I talk? Okay, I'm actually so sad that I didn't get Lee in my Look Outside playthrough because seeing the insane butch Yuri that people are drawing of Lee and Helen, I feel like my eyes are glowing and I'm like levitating in the center of the room. I've never experienced this before. I've never had two butch women exist in media and have everyone agree that they're lesbians. And I'm like, oh, this is beautiful. Everything's awesome. You gotta start over. I did actually consider it. I don't want to fucking line the rest of this. I've been like pinging around because I don't want to line any of the rest of the things I have to line. Because it's all like swooping lines and shapes that are hard to draw, but I have to be brave. I love the mysterious tent thing of not sure what's happening, but it's very clear and loving, but it's strange in a psychological way, and it's definitely clear, yeah. Or definitely queer. I'm personally not into fanfic, so I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna be honest, I don't read fanfiction unless I'm, like, severely mentally ill about the characters. I think the one example of character couple that I have read, like, a lot of fanfiction of is Reagan and Serizawa from Mob Psycho. And I still, to this day... So, because when people called them shovelware yaoi, I'm like, now hold on. That is personal to me. That is not shovelware yaoi. I am still there. I never left. Just because I stopped talking about it and being annoying doesn't mean that I don't care about them anymore. But, no, And actually, I think maybe the difference with those two is that because, again, both of them got to develop as characters beyond the two of them... And they have chemistry. They might not be explicitly queer in the story, but, like, it works so well. I've tried to read fanfic again with Uma Musume, and good lord, I can't stand the fandom tropes, Lemmy. This is why we started the whole conversation. Also, I think it helps that they're in their 30s. Like, I can instantly tell when someone is writing a Seirei fic, and either they have no idea how adults act, or they're like a child. And to be fair, I never comment anything but nice things on fanfic. If I don't like something, I just stop reading it. But it is really funny when I see people write characters. I'm like, you have never paid taxes before. You do not know how to drive a car. It's okay. Someday you will do these things, and if you don't, that's okay too. There are some adults that also don't do those things. But I don't want to read a fanfic about adult characters that's written by someone that has no idea what they're talking about. Also, because I do love when people turn Seirei into lesbians. I think that, I think when it comes to a ship, the second that I get insane about them, it doesn't matter what gender they are anymore. They could be anything. Like, controversial take, you could even make them straight, and I would raise an eyebrow, but if you do it well enough, I wouldn't care. But I also feel that way about Scully and Mulder from the X-Files, where, like, technically, yes, I know they're a man and a woman in the show, but when people start doing, like, butch Scully and Mulder, I'm like, you're seeing things in a dimension that I've ascended to. Playing an indie game about being aplatonic loveless as a whole completely rewrote how I perceive fandom and other media. A lot goes into that. What game was it? Read Dungeons G. Oh, I also. Wait, so Lemmy, someone in the YouTube chat's suggesting that you read Dojin. Actually, you probably could, because you can read Japanese better than I can. I can't read Japanese for shit. I'm working on it. Thank God for the 50-year-old woman keeping our written by adults for adults fanfic economy alive. God's strongest and most beautiful soldiers. They're literally putting in hours. I read Dojin. Okay. I figured you would. I'm scared of reading fanfiction because what if they get my Blurbal's characterization wrong and I go insane? I mean, that's mostly why I stopped. And there's not, like, again, it's not a crime. I am not sending you to my brain prison for getting my guy's characterization wrong. I will simply just not engage with it. But it does make me, like, grip my head and, like, wail in agony. Like, how did you get it this wrong? Like, what are you seeing? This is not even in the media. But again, I think a lot of it comes down to, like, fandom tropes and, like, people not necessarily seeing the characters themselves, but seeing what pre-existing slots they can put them into. I mean, Seri is like peak learning to adult, but he still exists in the context of knowing how adults work. And that's actually why I think, oh my god, okay, this is like a whole different tangent to Seirei. Serizawa as a character is such a good, what's the word? It's like where a good audience, it's like where someone is the stand-in for the audience. They're not meant to be like a self-insert, but they're meant to be the character that you like level with the most in the narrative. Because Reagan is someone that's not very emotionally honest, I think he can make an interesting narrator, but I don't think he always makes a relatable narrator for everyone. It depends if you're insane. But I think the ones, maybe audience surrogate is a good way. Yeah, I think that's probably a good thing to say. I followed your tutorial for the brush and the FAQ and I like the result. Awesome! I'm so glad. But I do feel like Serizawa is a good audience surrogate in the sense that, like, he is learning to be an adult. And I feel like a lot of people that relate to Mob, I have known so many autistic Mob Psycho fans. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if a majority of the demographic was neurodivergent to some, or the demographic was neurodivergent to some capacity. So having an adult character that's like Mob, or like an older version of Mob if he didn't receive intervention younger, is comforting. He's a comforting figure within that narrative. And so I'm always so surprised when people just make him like this stoic, like dominant, like bear of a character. I'm like, what the hell? Who is this? Who is this? This is not Serizawa. Crazy how the moment Mob Psycho got popular, because of season 3 coming, people genuinely started hating on people like liking Seirei, because people coming in and seeing how popular it was. Well, and that's what's crazy, is because, like, they do have chemistry, but I agree that people really mischaracterize them. I was forced to both see people hate on and mischaracterize it. We literally suffering more than Christ. This happened to Dunmeshi? Oh, I believe it. That's not Summer, that's the Dangerous Crow Boy. Please. The Dangerous Crow Boy meme has made me, like, cry. Serizawa gives me so much hope as someone who's lived like him. Exactly. Like, I think what's really interesting, too, especially about Siri Ray, is that Forrest and I really like their character dynamic. It does remind us a lot of, like, ourselves. But at the same time, it's not one for one. There's actually a lot of things that, like, Serizawa does that are relatable to me, and there's things that Reagan does that, well, actually that one, I don't, oh, he's gone. I'm talking to a room. I think he might be playing Silk Song, though, which is good. Babe? Forrest? No, he's in the shower. Okay. Serizawa was like the ultimate OCD metaphor. Who the fuck is making him a stoic top? It kills me! Who is doing this? This is probably the Arroway spec part of me, but I just don't care much for ships in the fanfic I read. Like, if it's there to look deeper into the characters and how they interact as individual people, I'm all here for it, but I do not care for pics where it's the entire focus. The thing is, I do like them. Also, what's the soundtrack? Hold on. Let me get the playlist. I actually really like this playlist so far. I just take my headphones up my head because they were squeezing my head, but Pookie is missing. That's to the Twitch chat. This is to the YouTube chat. Who is doing that? Who's doing what? What, making Serizawa a stoic top? So many fucking people in the AO3 tag, it actually is insanity inducing. You have no idea. Why do genuine discussions always go down the drain when manga gets adapted into anime? Okay, I mean, I did talk about this before. It's because the people that don't want to read are watching the anime. There's nothing wrong with liking animation. But I've yet to encounter, and actually, hold on, there's one instance. Nichijou fans are good. I've never encountered someone that likes Nichijou that is weird or bad about Nichijou. But, pause. Something about a manga getting an anime, it's like all of the ability to, like, engage with it as a piece of writing flies out the window, because there are so many anime fans that are like, it's not that deep, it's just anime. And I'm like, oh my god, what if I said it's not that deep, it's just a movie about, like, fucking Donnie Darko? You people would, like, wring me dry like a piece of cloth. Like, I don't even know what to say. The people ship Marcel and Lyos. Like, I can't even get mad. I just think they're stupid. We don't all have the same eyes. Marcel does not like men. Well, okay. Marcel is, like, in her compet phase, but I do think that she realizes that she likes women. I just don't think she's gonna acknowledge it. I saw Donnie Darko for the first time recently also. One of my favorite movies of all time. I'm so scared about Witch Hat getting an anime. I really have to read Witch Hat before it comes out. Like, I have to brace and take cover. Marcel does not know she likes women. Here's the, I think she's, like, aware, but, like, in the way that you're aware that you, like, have a paper cut before you realize you have a paper cut. Does that make sense? Like, she loves femininity and she loves beauty, and people are always like, oh, that's just how the elves are. And I'm like, yeah, except she's really weirdly obsessed with how Fallen looks. More so than you would be with a best friend. But it's not that deep. People make me so red. Why don't you want to engage with your media? Join me in the sauce. The thing is, it's not that deep to you because you can't see that deep. Again, not everyone has the same eyes. And, like, I think that when people say it's not that deep, I'm just like, you would think that. You have because you've never engaged with anything deeply. It's not that the media itself isn't deep. It's just that you don't go there. You don't go swimming. You stay on the surface. Reminds me of this one Reddit screenshot of a guy who's like, my friend got me so interested in this book, and everything about it sounds awesome, but it's a chapter book. Not even a graphic novel. What a waste of an amazing story. Why wouldn't they make the effort to make it a comic? Hello? God, does anyone hear me? Hello, welcome in. It's okay, we'll get chapter 4 eventually. Actually, sooner than you think. Like, chapter 4 will be coming around the corner because Road Boys chapter is, like, underway. Yeah, I'm making a Hornet sticker to practice stickers because I want to make a sticker club, but I gotta get faster at making them. I thought it got retconned for some reason. No. No. No, nothing has been retconned. The only thing that's been... Okay, let me say this. I tried not to retcon anything that I could in my comic because, you know, even though there were some things that were discussed, I didn't want to, like... I didn't want to pull Lost on people. I think that's bullshit. The only thing that got retconned is that there were some subject matters that are part of Mars's, like, story that I took out that were things that happened to me that I didn't want to put in a story like this, because while Laika's is not, like, kid-specific, it is kind of an all-ages comic, and I think that I need more experience as a writer before I start handling that kind of, content in my stories. It's okay, Critter. I think everyone turned away the whole time it was shown. Awesome. Also, yes, Sticker Club. It's not going to be any time... the goal is to get it ready to start up in 2026, but I don't know. I thought you were in the shower. Wait, where were you?
I was feeding the babies.
Oh, okay. Also, wait, could you turn the light on? It's, like, really dark.
Yeah.
Peace and love and trans people forever. But you can't... No one can know this, so don't go telling people this because I want you to be able to enjoy the comic. The one thing that I want to make sure you guys don't do this. Everyone was saying Road Boy's name before you knew his name because I think that technically he's not said his name in the comic yet, and that's fine. I have said Road Boy's name a few times, but there were people who only read the comic that don't know who Road Boy is, and I want to make sure that the comic is still enjoyable for them. So don't say anything. When chapter 4 starts, you can have a little spoiler, but let everyone else enjoy it. No, his name is Road Boy. I mean, well, he does have a name, but, like, you don't know his name. His name is Road Boy. Voice claim for Algernon? I don't actually know if I have a voice claim for Algernon. Road Boy does have a name that's not Road Boy, but you don't know it yet. And you won't know that for a lot longer. Have you thought about about the pricing you would use for the sticker club? Yeah, I need to, like, go over it and make sure that with our manufacturing it actually makes sense, but I was thinking of making it like a $5 sticker tier. 5 or 4, it depends. Do you think you'd ever explore those topics with Mars once you've gotten more experience? Perhaps a one-off sketch of Mars reflecting on their past? The problem is... So I think I've talked about this on the stream before. Some of the trouble about writing my childhood is, like, I don't want it to come off like torturing a specific character, but the troubling reality of things is that a lot of bad things did just happen to me. Like, I have experienced a lot of bad things, and I know that, like, people I love have also experienced a lot of bad things. Like, typically it doesn't just come one at a time. The trouble I've found is that when people engage with fiction, if too many bad things happen to one character, they kind of, like, disengage because it's no longer believable to them. But the troubling part of it is that, like, when someone is vulnerable, it is very likely that they will experience multiple pains because of that vulnerability and not actually have much assistance for it because they are in a vulnerable place. Also, Laika is not Weijin. Laika... So, here's the thing. I don't care what race you headcanon Laika as being as a human, but I will just clear the water and say she is not the biological daughter of Yue, if that was the question. She is the adopted daughter of Yue. Because Yue is Chinese and Vietnamese, so I would understand why you would think that. However, what I'll say is that if you would want to headcanon Laika as Weijin, you are more than welcome to. I wanted to reel that back because I was like, to me, it really... I don't have a vision for her. But I also don't have a vision for Mars. It's me, John Lennon. Ask me any John Lennon question. I'm alright, thank you. People like their stories to be fair, but life isn't fair, unfortunately. And I think that, like, I think that as a writer, you have to be you have to be attentive to how an audience is going to react to something, but it's a very fine balance of writing a story that is truthful versus writing a story that will be received well. And that is a trouble I've run into multiple times with some of the things that I've written. I try to stay as true to my vision as I can, but there are some things that I had to sacrifice along the way because I'm like, I know, like, people just aren't ready for it yet. They're not ready to engage with this, and I see it. And honestly, notably, the way that people act in fandom spaces tells me that they're not ready for this, some of the things that I would like to tell yet. I just love finding a signature in artwork and it takes you to a stream. Wait, did you find a signature on an art piece that I did? If you did, that's awesome, and welcome in. Also, Critter, do you have voice claims for your characters? I'm dying to envision what they sound like. I've said before that Mars sounds like baby Marceline or Cardamon from Bee and Puppycat to me. And Leica has a bunch of different voices that I could see her being. She could be Penny Snapcube. She could be Bee from Bee and Puppycat. There was another one. I'll think of it later. There's a few. In short, do you have an available shop? Like, do I have things? Yeah, if you do ! Shop, it should send you to my Ko-Fi shop, and I have a bunch of stuff in there. Why does it sound like a power generator and something in the background? There are cars that go by every once in a while, unless you mean the OST. I think that the songs that's playing right now... Oh yeah, the song that's playing right now is just noise music. Hold on, we could play something else. It does kind of sound like that. There we go. Like in chat? Yeah, if you do ! Shop in chat. It should send the link. Also, Kaimaster, thank you for the resub. After a million years, I am a minnow real. Oh, did it not work? Hold on, let me grab it. I wonder why it's not working. Also, sorry, chat's moving quickly and I'm grabbing a link. Someone asked about the Marie prints getting sent. They've been sent. All of the Marie prints are sent out. The only thing that's not sent now is the Hornet print, but that's just because it hasn't gotten here yet. Cardamon from the original YouTube run, not the Netflix run. I am not a Bee and Puppycat Netflix truther. For Bishop, to Harpy. See, that one's really hard. I will have to get back to you on that. Oh, and Yui's voice claim is either Rain Whispers from the Owl House or, like, every voice that people give Otacon, ever. Or, like, just one of the Pokemon scientists. Mustelid Burger. Burger from a Chef Mustelid. Okay, it's not made of Mustelid. I got scared. I thought you had an AC running. Nah, it was the music in the background. But anyway, yeah, the Marie prints are all sent out. So if you were waiting on one, they should be arriving shortly. Alright, let's get rid of the sketch. I'm just going to put the colors on for the time being, because I don't want to line anymore. I'm tired of this. Wait, why is that not line? Okay, whatever. Hi, Harvard. I think Bee and Puppycat Netflix run should not have remade the first season, just focus on finishing the story. That's how I felt too. I wonder if it was like a copyright thing. That does happen sometimes. I think I was literally just watching, not watching, I was reading someone talk about it, how like a lot of cartoons don't pitch their ideas anymore because a lot of companies have, not NDAs, but basically like you can't work on this for a few years afterwards. And then when you do, again, you can't use any of the previous footage or development artwork that was used to make the cartoon with us. Harbor Crunchy sounds. Sorry, he's playing with a thingy behind us. Where is that? Wait, why are you? Did I merge this one on this layer? I don't know where this came from, but I'm gonna get rid of you. Bye. Oh, but now there's like the crunchy outline. Is that a D-pad necklace? It's like a zipper, or like it's like the hood charm. Didn't Ubisoft and Microsoft say that BS? Yes. A lot of companies will do that where like if you work on company time or you work using company software. Why is there so many things on the line art layer? I must have merged something. I sounded like Gonzo. I would be Gonzo. I feel like Gonzo is like probably the gayest Muppet. He's also the most transgender. What is this music? Let me grab it. I didn't know you were live. I never did adopts because I'm scared that I'll probably steal someone's art. Wait, how would you I think you'll be okay. I don't think you'll steal anyone's art. That's awesome. I'm so glad. Gonzo fans winning. Also, here is the music to both chats in case anyone wanted the playlist. Bunsen and Beaker are canonically gay. Wait, really? I love you, Muppets. Alright, hold on. Sorry, I'm going back and I'm cleaning up all these stray pixels from whatever layer got merged. PMO. No! Why are you white? Okay, sorry. Great. Now I can go back. And then I just have to like layer lock. So it's only if they catch you, and I like it. You can't just ask people whether white. Well, to be fair, I was asking the line art. Thank you for the hydrate. And I'm also going to save really quick. I think I could probably... Oh, hello, Harper. Hi. There's also them giving all the jobs to storyboard artists. Remember when there was a difference between storyboards and animatics? Wait, no, I don't. I don't? Wait, Jorno, what are you talking about? I believe you. Sorry, this is not doubting. This is... I don't know, because part of the reason that I didn't go into storyboards is because I was making animatics and I got really burnt out from the amount of work. So then I was like, fuck it, I'm doing comics. Storyboards are supposed to be like very vague doodles. I feel like storyboarders used to not need timing as far as I know. What the hell was I doing then? I was doing whole produced videos. You were not supposed to feel like an animation or movement. This explains so much. This actually explains so much because when I started doing storyboards when I was in high school, I was doing them more like, you know, like a comic where you would move, like doodle out the scenes and the movements between the scenes, but not like the actual animation of the characters. And then as I went to school and I saw the storyboards that other animators were making, I was like, I have to up my game. Damn. That actually explains a lot. They keep piling up the jobs of other sections to storyboard artists so they can do so much of the process while underpaying them and having less staff. And because a lot of people want to be storyboard artists too. So that's like such an easy exploitation. That's what they're supposed to be, but companies have been forcing storyboards that are practically in-betweens and junk. Yeah, I've seen those. Is the draw list in your style done? I am almost done. That's what I'm doing tomorrow. But I could work on that a bit tonight too. I'm hoping to have that done by Thursday. Hey Critter, first time catching stream. Currently redrawing my Sona for the millionth time, and seeing your processors really helped. Of course, and that's awesome. I hope you have fun. I was leaning on my elbow and it hurted my elbow. They call it... We have Leicas now, so at least the Critter description brought us somewhere cool. I mean, honestly, that's how I've, like... As an artist in general, this is gonna sound crazy. I have nothing against, like, large-scale produced art pieces, because there are things that teams of artists can do that would be impossible for a single artist. However, for me personally as an artist, I find, like, corporate productions of stories and art to be so antithetical to my idea of what making art is that I would, like, after considering it, a lot of people have asked me if I would want to be a showrunner, and I just no, like, I don't think I ever would want to be a showrunner. I think that not only would it be difficult to really direct something in a way that I feel like would be ethical and also like meet the vision of what I have for my thing, I think that as a creator, I have too much of a grip of control over my things. Like, I don't like letting other people in to that creative process because it's not, I don't want it to be collaborative. Like, it's a story I'm telling. Also, I hope you don't mind me asking. Okay, so Brushtober is going to be a thing, but I'm bumping it back to November because there's a lot going on this month. That's part of why. Off topic, but do you have any tips for making adopts, or would you ever make a video on it? I will probably never make a video on character design in my life ever again because I am so scared of YouTube comments. But my personal tips for it are to design characters that you would like to use and have, because eventually you will find your audience who also likes those things, and there are ways that you can push yourself to design things that are like outside of your usual comfort scope while also still having a fun time. Do you have a Pinterest with your ref library? Yeah, I do. My Pinterest is 4-Leaf Island. I can grab it really quick. I love the design so much. The colors are so pretty. Thank you. Hold on. I think the other thing too with like doing a project where other people were involved is I wouldn't feel like satisfied if I hadn't done it all myself. But that's the shiny hunter part of my brain speaking. I am very much not just a workaholic, but like a completionist, I guess. So like to have the ability to say that I did something all myself from start to finish does feel like that's what I want. The process is supposed to go storyboards, pencil test, animatic, final animation. The modern industry merges the first three together. Damn. I didn't know those were all different things. And as praise on self-doubt most artists have, that pressure that has grown from seeing other fellow artists, oh, that person did so much extra, I gotta do that. Because that's what happened to me. Because I was seeing what other storyboarders were doing online. I was like, shit, I guess I'm not doing enough. I don't have in-between to my storyboard. Again, this explains like so much, but I mean, I am glad that I got into comics. OMG, thank you, of course. I know I asked something similar yesterday, but since your stickers are good against dishwashers, does that mean they'll be able to handle being washed with a hand and a sponge? Actually, you should probably wash them with a hand and a sponge, because over time the dishwasher did fade the colors. Didn't peel off the stickers, but it did make the colors get like fainter. But the things that I've hand washed haven't had that trouble. I wouldn't use like steel wool on it, but if you use the scrubby side of a sponge, it should probably be okay. Did something happen to the Night in the Woods print? Mine's not in yet. When did you order it? Because we had a bunch of merch get stolen, and it resulted in stuff only just getting shipped out this previous week. So it's on the way. But if you're waiting on something that was from the sale order, which was anywhere from the August 31st to September 24th, technically the sale was the 31st to September 10th, but that like batch of orders just got sent out last week. So give it a week's time, but if you're still missing it, yeah, so if you're still missing it, please email. But like I will give it a week or two, and then it should be in. I feel like if I became an artist in part because I felt like others wouldn't envision my characters right after experiencing movie versions. That's the thing. Are your stickers okay to put on my ski helmet? Yes, they are. You can put them on a ski helmet, bike helmet. You can put them on. I've seen some people put them on surfboards and skimboards, and you know I think salt water will fade them over time, but that's it. I think that adds character in that sense. Do you ever plan on making stickers for Leica's Comet again? I absolutely do. I'm just very bad at completing things. If you must know, my canvas, like my uncompleted canvases, are almost in the 200 areas now. There's these, which I wanted to make stickers. I think literally the only thing left to do is I have to draw Leica's toolbox and like color a few areas, and that's pretty much it. I'm baffled at the idea of someone stealing a bunch of made to order stickers. I don't understand why. The other thing is, and this is really funny, this was actually pre Road Boy having his design changed. He's all light blue now. The retcon of Road Boy's roots, his hair roots. I just made him all light blue. Because I thought it worked better, and I also didn't really like how the blue was looking in his design. Unmarked box, they didn't even check. Comics are a really unique way to express them. Even with the legacy characters from the big two, unless you name Peter Parker, you can see how an writer or artist develops. And the best comics are when illustrators and writers work together for a full version. Absolutely. Why is Mars aura farming? They've just got a baseball cap. Just decided to sign up to Pinterest. This shit is so peak. Too bad there's so much AI I'm drowning. Arias, do not interested. I'm not even kidding you. Pinterest's response system to what you do not interested in is actually very accurate. I did not interested in like 3 AI posts, and I've never seen AI again. It's gone. Like they were like, oh, heard, don't want AI, we won't show you again. He dyed his hair again, scholarly nod, exactly. Oh, my stars are so adorable. I'm glad. Putting one on my motorcycle helmet. Oh my god, wait! I have wanted to see Leica on someone's motorcycle or motorcycle helmet for the longest time. It feels correct. It feels like spiritual fulfillment of destiny. So, I will be so... that may be my driving force to actually finish the stickers. I'm not kidding. I just want to see that reel. Hold on. Also, if you're wondering why their ear is green, it's not staying green. I'm just doing this because the white is so hard to see against the white background. I don't want to hurt my eyes. I think Pinterest does a really good job of curating. Absolutely. And yes, to Ardius, do not interested, you won't deal with it again. Because I had the same problem for a while I was trying to collect references for OCs. Or not OCs, for adopts. Actually, do you guys know my process of making adopts? Someone earlier asked for tips for making adopts. I hope you're still here. I apologize, I didn't remember who it was that said it. But I have explained on stream a few times my process of designing characters, but I can do it again if it's something that people are interested in. What I do, there's a few steps to it, right? So I have this big folder of images. It's just like a bunch of different images. They are completely unrelated, that I save. And I save like anything that I find visually appealing or I think looks cool. Oh no, something got removed. Oh well. So right now this is like what the top of it looks like. But literally anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a photo, it could be a drawing, it could be like a texture. Because for me, character designs are like a very textural experience, I feel like. So I save these photos in a big pile. And then some days I may have like an idea for a character. I may have like a vague kind of like, this would be it'd be a fun day to try to design a character. I'll go through the folder and I'll try to like basically play connect the dots where I'll look at different things that I've saved and try to build a character based off of connecting different images. I also save a lot of clothes, actually. That's another big one. This screenshot doesn't show it, but there is like almost an entire wardrobe's worth of clothes underneath this. So after that, after I sort them into a folder, I create sort of like mood boards based off of a vague notion of a character design. I don't have a design in mind yet, but I do have an idea of like an aesthetic or like a visual that I want to go for. Let me grab the Valentine's chocolate one, honestly. This one was really cute. Can I get a yeehaw? Yeehaw! My weaker yeehaw for tonight, but I'm a little weepy. So, as an example, this is what a board might look like, and also ignoring the character in the top because this is what gets designed last. This is what a board might look like when I sort things together. I only have drawings of Token in my Pinterest. Oof, I just cracked my neck. So this is what the boards will look like after I sort things together. And then typically what I do is I take these mood boards and then I try to design a character based off of them. Uh, that's actually how this one character we're working on tonight came to be, because the board I made was here. I also usually pick an animal species after the board is made. I don't pick an animal first because I want the aesthetic and the mood of the character to develop separate from the animal and then to match the animal to it. Ouch, that was loud. Wait, was there something in the background? I'm sorry. Or was it the music? Sorry, I had to take my headphones off. Like I said, I was wearing these all morning while I was working, so they were squeezing my head. Token is a character of the trans femme artist. Oh, okay, wait, now I know who you're talking about. I don't know why I didn't know that that's the little cat, right? I almost outlined this in the completely wrong color. hello, welcome in, Super the Blob. No, you popping your neck? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even realize it was audible. It felt good, but I didn't realize you guys could hear that. It was loud enough that the mic picked it up? God damn! I think I mentioned it that I work on Leicas every day. Oh, I didn't finish my talking about my work day today. I woke up at 4:30 today, so that's also part of why I'm sleepy. Forrest works at a cafe, and sometimes I go into work with him because I'm very autistic and I hate socializing. Okay, that's a lie. How do you describe something that you're avoidant of doing, but when you're actually in it, you sometimes enjoy it and you might be really proficient at it, but it doesn't mean you necessarily go out of your way to do it? Being skilled at something but not enjoying it. That's what I would say. But I go to work with him because I don't want people to talk to me, so I just put in headphones and like lock in. Also, the animal is this little guy. This is an ermine, part of the mustelid family. But I go to work with him because it really makes me focus in on work because I don't want anyone to talk to me. And typically, if you look busy, people don't disturb you while you're out in public, typically. So I get a lot of work done. I woke up at 4:30 this morning, started working at like 5:30, I think, because that's when we got to the cafe. Sketched a page of Leicas, finished lining a page of Leicas, did the flats for a page of Leicas, sketched the Hornet sticker, and there's something else that I started. Oh, I started lining this, and then I think I started working on the Chapter 1 PDF because I needed to send that to somebody. Also, the adopt doesn't have pronouns because I actually let the people that get the character adopts decide the pronouns. Generally speaking, I try to design characters without any like kind of identity in mind, because I want that to be up to the interpretation of the owner in the future. I 100% get that. Not mistake my social abilities for comfort socializing. I'm schizospec and masking hard in public. That's exactly it. I mean, that's the thing. I can be good at something, but it doesn't mean that I'm comfortable at something. And I think that that's largely, like, one of the reasons why I get so avoidant is that, like... And people seem really surprised, too. Like, when it's like a switch flips. I go from being, like, myself comfortable in my own space, and then I can go to being, like, socializing like it's nothing. But I don't really enjoy it, either. Androgynous designs my beloved, the owner gets to choose? Yeah. Well, and I tried to I don't know. My crazy theory is that there are no gendered appearances. We've just decided that these arbitrary appearances mean gendered things. So I will design characters that may look heavily gendered one way or the other, but if someone was like, this is a butch lesbian, to a character that, like, has a full beard, I'd be like, hell yeah. Absolutely, go ahead. But I don't put the Pinterest boards for the adopts up until they're done. Actually, to Z. If I'm still working on a character, actually, generally speaking, rule of thumb, the boards that you see that are up are characters that are designed and sold, because I want to show you guys my process and I want to show you what it looks like when it's done, but I keep my working adopt board secret because I don't want people trying to jack my shit before it's out. You can jack my shit after it's out, but I would like to have some level of like privacy while I'm working on things until they're done. I literally just click it and I love it. I'm so glad to share. I love Camp Mustelid. I'm very excited for my treat surprise. Question for everyone: what's your favorite kind of pie? Personally, mine is pumpkin pie. Ooh, pumpkin or blueberry probably. Coming back from ads, like, to hear you can jack my shit. I meant in the steal sense. Because, and here's the thing, I don't really fucking believe in, like, idea stealing. I think that's shit stupid. But I would be remiss to say that after years of being an artist online, one of the things that I know is that if people admire your artwork, they're going to show that admiration through mimicry. And that's fine. People learn through mimicry. But I would like, especially when it comes to things that I'm selling to people, there to be some level of, like, sanctity to the things that I'm selling so that, you know, I don't make an adopt design and then as they're coming out, 6 identical ones go up on Toy House all at the same time. Are there any kind of rules when it comes to the draw this in your style? Not at all, really. I want people to be creative with it. I guess just don't give Critter extra head hair. That's the only thing. Sugar oats pie. Huh, I've never heard of that one before. No Sailor Soda Float. Oh, okay, that one I actually haven't put up. You're so right. I need to do that. Sorry, that I was just lacking on. But thank you for reminding me, Z. I could probably actually do that after stream. I have to record another YouTube video intro after stream, but then I could probably put that up. I recorded... the Scary Stories video actually should be going up this week, hopefully. There was a delay on that because as you could probably hear from the 5,000 fucking cars outside, I don't know what it is. Everyone's been driving down the street loud as hell lately. So I've had to wait till literally midnight to do recordings because otherwise I get interrupted like every third word. I agree about ideas can't really be stolen because you're bound to do something different. Exactly, that's the thing. That's why I share afterwards. I am so happy to share my process, but I don't... Here's the other risk, right? Let's say I share the mood board. And I share the mood board before the design goes up. If someone else makes a design first and then claims I copied them, there's really no means for me to disprove that because just because I made a Pinterest board doesn't mean I drew a design first. So I like to try to keep my design ideas secret until they're done because I don't give a shit if people copy me. People have done it. I used to care and then I stopped because I'm like, this really materially does nothing to me. And I would rather you learn art than be a dick on the internet to strangers trying to learn art. But I also want to avoid conflict as much as physically possible, and that just seems like a ripe way to get into it. Copy of it, make it different, just like the 2 big guys, the Namor and Aquaman, Superman and Shazam, and Spider-Man, and 80% of the teenage heroes created after the 60s. The Scary Story stream was so fun. Do you guys want to do another Scary Story stream? Because there's a few events coming. Like, so obviously there's Halloween. Also, I actually want to put a design on the shoes. Originally, I was just going to do the shoes, kind of like his boots. But now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, what if I did something fun? I kind of wanted to get this done tonight. It's only 7 o'clock. It's like 7:40. So there was a few things that I was thinking of doing, right? We're definitely playing No, I'm Not Human on the 15th because I have front page on the 15th and I'm very excited. Everyone, please show up and support me because there's going to be a bunch of randos in chat and I'm scared. But I think it'll be fun. I'm hopeful everyone will be nice. But that's coming the 15th. And then we also have Halloween, and then we also have the night where I wanted to invite people on to all design a character together. I would also like to do another chat designed character because those are always really fun. I'll show up with my special attack just in case. Thank you, Harpy. I always thought having similar ideas to people was really fun. Like, oh, we cooking together. Well, and actually, that's one of the streams that I have planned for this month. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a mood board, and then I'm going to share it with my friends, and we have the length of the stream to design a character based off that mood board. But we can't see what anyone else is doing, and then at the end we can all show our ideas and see what we did differently. Because I thought that would be fun. It's not like really with an interest of doing things competitively. It's more like to see how everyone's brains work differently and like what parts of an image or like texture we react to. It's still normal time for that, correct? Yes, it's still normal time, but it might go longer. Can chat join? Yeah, I'm going to share the mood board before stream so that you guys can join too. I would love to see what people make, actually. I'll be supporting you from the Guppy stream. Thank you. Actually, it's funny. It's going to be a night where the Guppy stream is going to be like the most normally paced chat. When am I doing that? I haven't planned it yet. That's part of finding when my friends are available, actually. And when we can all get together to do something. Thankfully, time zones are pretty similar for everyone involved, though. But the 15th is going to be the No I'm Not Human stream. Excited for this adopt, rubbing my hands together like an evil fly. Okay, I'm glad. I was kind of worried because actually I hadn't heard anyone say they were interested in this one. Which, honestly, I don't really mind. This is going to sound insane. I don't actually make adopts with selling them in mind. I make designs that I think are fun, and then them selling is just kind of a bonus. But this one, I really liked the design, so I was like, I hope someone likes you. Hope someone loves you like I love you. Been watching that fish in the quarter for 10 minutes now. It's doing the Club Penguin dance. Yes, it is. When is the stream? So the stream, the No I'm Not Human stream is the 15th. No I'm Not Human is a game. The stream where my friends and I will all be designing a character based off the same mood board has not been planned yet. That's something that we talked about doing, and we were going to do it in October because it's going to be Halloween themed, but we haven't planned what day. Honestly, we could do it on Halloween, but that's up to see. How do you not get attached to your adopts? Do you want, like, the normal answer, or do you want, like, what actually worked? The normal answer is by not thinking of a personality, but thinking of them as a person. It kind of removes some of the sense of ownership, because I'm not, like, projecting my personality onto the character. I'm just thinking about this, like, oh, this is a person that could hypothetically exist. And I also think that it breeds more interesting designs, because then not every single character is just, like, me number 7. The crazy answer and, like, what actually worked is that I started OCD medication. And, like, all of the guilt of feeling like the character would think I didn't love them if I sold them went away, because I realized that that was simply the mental illness. Like selling your practice designs? I guess they're not technically constituted as practice designs. They're designs that I do because I like designing characters, but it's like, okay, think of it this way. Let's say you like to bake, and you like to bake often. You could not physically eat like an entire tray of brownies every 3 days. So you have all these brownies laying around, and you also have to pay for the ingredients, and in this case, the ingredients are the time spent doing the thing. So you're like, I mean, I guess I could sell baked goods. So at that point, you're already going to do the thing that's your hobby. Maybe you could make extra money off of it, and it might not be that much, but as long as it covers the cost of materials, then it's still worth it. That's kind of how adopts are for me. Like, as long as it covers the amount of time that it took to do it, then, like, it's still worth it, because I like designing, and it gives me the chance to practice. So I guess it is like practice design, but I don't think of it like I do still put full effort into it. Do you also project your personality onto OCs as well? Sometimes I try to make characters that are different from me. Well, okay, so I think that it's important to remember all art pieces, as artist, every art piece that you make is going to be a self-portrait in some way. I think Tove Jansson said that, actually, specifically, when she was talking about the Moomins. There is not an art piece that you can make that will not reflect a part of you in some way. And that's because, as the artist, you are not able to really ever fully be dissected from the thing that you've made. And that does get into conversation of, like, you know, separating art from artist. But even though I think you can separate the artist's personal real world beliefs and like harms from an art piece, there are some art pieces where they are so unremovable because they are so like laced into the art itself that I actually don't fully believe that being true. Practice designs in the sense that you're flexing the design muscles. Actually, yeah, that's a very good way of putting it. Also, what's your main income? It's split, actually. I don't find that rude to ask. I think that it's really important to teach other artists that are like interested. I think so. Here's my main piece of advice. First and foremost, do not base your income structure off of my income structure because we are going to be different people, and what is manageable for you and what is fun for you and also what is possible for you based off of the audience size you have is going to be vastly different. But importantly, as a freelance artist, it is always a good idea to have multiple eggs in multiple different baskets. Personally, my main sources of income are almost evenly split between Ko-Fi, Twitch, and then like one-off things like adopts and commissions. I do big shop sales like once every quarter of a year, and that makes way more than I usually make in a month. But then I save that money, so I spread it out throughout. I make basically nothing from YouTube. I think that people have a misconception that YouTube makes a lot more money than it does. And I'm sure it has the potential to, but I think a lot of the money from YouTube for YouTubers comes from like Patreon and it comes from sponsorships, which I don't really take. And then I have a Ko-Fi, so that's basically the Patreon. Hello, I watch your videos on YouTube and it's helped me a lot on my art journey. That's awesome. And that's why I make them. I was going to say, I don't make YouTube videos to make money. I make YouTube videos because I like making videos. If you're happy even if you do a sad piece, it will be different from when you do a sad piece while sad. I would agree with that, yeah. YouTube's been on the fritz lately, so you're not missing anything in regards to that. And the thing is, like I said, I don't know. For me, sharing information, making educational videos, and also making fun videos, that is just something that I wanted to do because I wanted to do it when I was younger. And a lot of my time as my own boss and like as like in my job is just thinking, one, what would make me happy now and what would motivate me to make things, because creativity is something that I don't really think you can put a price tag on, and as is drive. But two, I try to think of things that would have made me happy when I was younger because I would want to try to make the world in the image of the way that I thought I would be kind of like leaving my mark on it when I was younger. I want to fulfill those dreams so that I don't look back with regret. Sponsors can really come back to kick your ass. That's exactly why I don't take them. The only time I will ever accept a sponsor, and I think I've said this a few times on stream, I will only accept a sponsor if it's something I actually use and I have used it for a while. Or if I was introduced to it by the sponsor, I've used it and I've seen it through and I've gone like, okay, this is legit. But even that, I don't really know if I would want to put that much time into it because it's like, what realistically am I going to be asked to sponsor that I would actually like to introduce to my like daily routine of things? Random question, but do you ever feel absolutely terrible for throwing something away that's unfixable away? Kind of, but typically I try to go recycle it if I can. I think that's part of what like alleviates the guilt, or I find some way to salvage parts of it. Do you have any tips on how to make good characters for a comic? Yeah, here's the biggest one. The simpler the design, the less you're going to hate yourself in the future. Do not hold, unless a detail is a key detail of a character, you may have to shred it off. You may have to take the sandpaper to it, and it's going to happen. My second piece of advice that relates to that, for the love of God, before you start your comic, draw your characters multiple times. Before I even started Laika's comic, I think I drew Laika upwards of 100 times. And there are still parts of her design today that I'm like, damn, I wish I had taken this away because this is annoying as fuck to draw. Which is part of the reason I changed their outfits each chapter. One, because it's more realistic, and two, because there's sometimes I don't want to draw those damn goggles. But they're cute, so I keep them. But please, you need to have experience drawing the characters as frequently as you're going to draw them for your comic. And as much as I'm sure you're married to your like very beautiful, very ornate design, in like 10 pages you're gonna hate that design, do yourself a favor and practice it early. You're better than me. I would low-key take the money. I'm going to tell you right now, money is not worth the cost of your word and the cost of your... I don't want to say, like, valor, because that sounds very, like, hoity-toity. It's not worth the cost of people trusting you. Because, and you see this with a lot of influencers, they might not have done anything horrendously wrong, but the second that people realize that they are just trying to make a quick cash grab, people lose interest because they don't feel real anymore. They realize they're just kind of a walking advertisement. And, you know, I think that there is something to be said about the temptation of money, especially in the economy we're in right now. I understand it, but you do also have to understand what you're dealing with. Like, people are very fickle, and it's not a sin. It is just kind of like how human beings are. But part of making content online is understanding human nature and being predictive with it. The designs aren't beautiful. That's why I gotta draw them now and make them disintegrate with time, like myself having to draw them thousands of times. But money, like I said, also learn to live frugally. I hate to say it, but if you're gonna be an artist, you cannot like expensive things. I can live off of toast and peanut butter for a few meals if I really have to, and I have done that for quite a long time. It's only been recent that I've been able to actually, like, eat better. Have you read Neon Genesis Evangelion? I just didn't so good. I haven't, but it's on the roster of things to read. I'm guilty of so much personification for objects. I get that way too. I understand. I have to leave stream now since it's approaching my cutoff time, and hopefully tomorrow's stream I can attend without interruption. No worries, and thank you for stopping by, Tristan. Why do I have to like video games when they started the BS $90 games? Here's my next secret to you. Play indie games. They're better. They're better. A lot of indie games are a lot more interesting conceptually because they don't have to worry about the desires of a corporate exec, and also they're cheaper. Like, Look Outside. We were just... See, it always comes full circle. Look Outside is a perfect example. The game's $9, and I have gotten hours of gameplay out of it, and I want to replay the game, because there is a lot of replayability to it. I have a character with a pretty complicated design, and have been in denial of it being too complicated for me to draw over and over. I feel like you're saving my future sanity. Thanks, Critter. I want to help you finish your comic. I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm saying this because I want to help you. And I honestly know that I can't stop some people. I know how stubborn artists can be. I am a perfect example of that. The biggest piece of advice that I give people that are like, I want to write comics, is write a short comic. Do not write your multi-chapter webcomic, like, lengthy adventure as your first work of art. And what the fuck did I do? That's exactly what I did. I wrote a 14-chapter comic as my first comic ever. That technically I've written short ones, like, for Tumblr posts, but that's not the same. Although I will say that practice was very valuable. So do the Tumblr post comics if you must, if that's like the shortest you're willing to do. We failed at starting art. We opening Hollow Knight. I mean, that's what I'll be doing after stream, so I can't even really say I'm better. I think the only non-indie game I still love is the Octopath series. I'm trying to think, because I can't even really say that I play Pokemon much anymore. I only play older titles. I have officially become what I swore I would never become. I am the, like, instead of a Gen 1er, I'm a Gen 4 and 5er. Like, I just don't play any of the new games. I only really like the older pixel art games. Getting here late. Welcome in, Solar Pops. You know, I said I didn't think I was going to finish this, but now that I'm looking at it, the line art is almost done. If I wanted to take, a quick break, I could probably finish this tonight. Let me get rid of the line art. Harbor Sickening Greed. No, that's our cat. I hope that explains a little bit, though. Also, did the music stop? I have a feeling that the music stopped, and I hope it was not off for too long. Alright. I wonder if we could get this done tonight. It would be nice. I've had this on the book or like on the work block forever, so I'd really love to get this character design done if I could. Oh wait, I redid the sleeves too. It was so eerie without music. I'm so sorry. I hope it wasn't that long. Like I said, I keep taking the headphones off because I was wearing headphones starting like 5:30 this morning, so I've been wearing headphones like all day. What is this music? It's just, last we were listening to a particular Arrow playlist, but this one is called a Cyber Light Music Mix. I have no idea what that means, but I figured that it would match well with the character. Oof. Sorry, I'm cracking my neck. Have you ever wish to rewrite anything in your comic after you posted it? How often is it? Not really, because I have an idea of the general outline of the story, and I haven't been writing it long enough that I think I look back to my old writing and I feel bad about it. I can tell that I've improved as a writer, but maybe the reason I don't feel a desire to rewrite anything is that I like it being a time capsule of my skill as a writer at that point in time. Like, I wouldn't want to change it because I think it's neat to see what I was capable of then versus what I'm capable of now. I also don't look back at myself with shame, typically, or I try not to. I did used to, but like now that I'm older, I try to look back at myself with the understanding that at the time I was doing the best that I could, and that even if I can do better now, it doesn't mean that what I was doing then is bad. How do you write dialogues in character? I have their personality and all, but somehow I feel like I'm mischaracterizing them because I don't know how to write their way of speaking. I don't have normal advice to give for this. When I have characters, they kind of exist in my head and like talk even if I don't want them to. So I don't really have... I don't know how to give advice on something that I can't turn off. I guess my biggest advice would be to try to pay attention to the way that people around you talk and take in the speech like patterns of the people that you know, because if everyone talks like you and has the same speech patterns as you, it will be noticeable. I feel like trying to say the dialogue aloud... Oh, that actually is true. If you can read the dialogue aloud and you don't feel yourself wincing, that's actually a really good sign. This design is so cute. I love the post on the right. The pose on the right. Thank you. I did the pose on the right after doing the original just standing pose because I thought it needed a little more. It needed a little more sauce. It needed something to show some personality. But I think with the addition, it looks good. I wonder what color I would make the little hoop area, the loops though. I don't think I picked one in the original design. But I could do it this silver, because this metallic color was going to be used for the Tamagotchi anyway. CD Hello is so freaking good. Thank you. Alright. I do think I'll leave the buttons untouched, though, because the buttons could be, like, the same color. They could be painted metal. Splatoon music? Yeah. Splatoon music on this playlist actually makes a lot of sense. I act out scenes out loud to myself too. It's a lot like talking to yourself, but it helps so much. Also my favorite pastime? Yeah, that is a huge one. I gotta go. It's nice watching stream. See you next stream. Thank you for stopping in, Lupin. I'm trying to draw more on Krita in my PC instead of IBS on mobile. Honestly, when I set it to PC, it helps me have better, like, posture, which is part of the reason that I like streaming, because it's like productive time where I'm not shrimped or in bed. It does also have like a time limit too, which helps, because then I'm like, okay, if my back hurts or if I'm sore, I get to lay down soon, so it's not forever. I just realized I didn't do this area. Will this VOD be put on the VOD channel given the like... I could edit the Legacy spoilers out. I could edit the Legacy spoilers out if you would like this up on the VODs channel. I could try. I did say that I would take this down, so I would just have to download the VOD very quickly. So that I don't spoil my own webcomic. Ooh, I really like the blue lines. You have a standing desk, right? Is that something you recommend for hobbyist artists? I would recommend it if you can afford it. I think that the second that you can stop sitting all the time, it's awesome for you, because it will help you. It will help prevent health issues and postural issues in the long run. But don't blow your bank on it if you don't do art as your full-time job and you can't afford it. It's when you start drawing for like 7, 8, 9 hours a day that it actually becomes like mandatory. Because sitting for that long is not good for you. I do think it's fun that stream viewers get to be the knowers. This is true. Maybe I will wait to finish this one, actually. Because the thing is, I don't want to rush through it. Oh, I also picked the buttons on the sleeves. But I have made a lot of headway on this compared to how... Like, this morning it was still just a sketch, so I'm pleased to have gone as far as I did. Oh, that's still too thick. Alright. That's fair. I'm a hobbyist, but also all my other hobbies are sedentary, so I might look into it. Yeah, that's a huge one. Well, I was going to say, I actually sometimes play video games walking too, so if a lot of your hobbies are indoor sitting hobbies, it would be good to have. Because I have a standing desk, and then I also have like a little walk pad that goes underneath it. So instead of just standing still, I can actually like be moving around. Your art style looks so tasty. Thank you! Preparing a meal for you all. Now, I had another idea that I thought would be really cute. What's your opinion on constantly zooming in while drawing? I zoom in for small details, but generally speaking, I try to stay zoomed out when I do line art because I don't want to not get the gesture of the sketch that I've got going on. And I think if you stay zoomed in while you're doing line art, that can happen. And then when you zoom out, it's going to be like, why does it look funky? And it's like, well, because you drew it while being super close to it. You didn't get the swoops or the shapes that you wanted. Speaking of a meal, I made the tastiest omelet ever. Man, now I'm hungry. I had a really disappointing sandwich earlier today. It sounded good on paper, but then I got it and I was like, why did you put this on this bun? I'm cooked? No, you're alright. You can change, too. What sandwich? It was an egg sandwich. It was supposed to be like a bacon, egg, and cheese, but for one, they didn't melt the cheese, so it was just a slab of cheese. And then they put it on a soft bun. So you had the soft egg and then also the soft bun, and the texture was just awful, this combo. I feel like if you're gonna do a bacon, egg, and cheese, you gotta put it on a toasted croissant, or you gotta put it on a bagel. And toast the bagel, obviously. Or a piece of toast, and that's alright too. But just putting it on a soft hot dog bun, or a soft hamburger bun, is a terrible idea. It's gonna get soggy. I hear Fart starting the kitchen burner. No. He's in bed right now, I think. That guy's sleepy. Yeah, and I was gonna say, if you're doing a pixel art style, zooming in makes complete sense then, because that is literally a detail-oriented task. There was an omelet into your mouth. Thank you. You know, the other thing I was thinking, what does the WII icon look like? Or like, what does the WII logo look like? Okay. The only thing I was thinking is I could make the eyes the DS screens, like the DS Lite screens. But yeah, I was gonna say the WII logo is just the word Wii, which is kind of boring, actually. I didn't know. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Oh, I can outdo the ears, the ear puffs. The other thing is that the ear puffs are meant to look like the little loading bubble that happens on a lot of devices where it's just like the spinning bubble of dots, as opposed to being drawn like fuzz how I typically draw it. Although I don't know if that comes across as well. The animal is like a winter stoat or an ermine. What's the playlist? Hold on, I got you, Frithly. And I can zoom back out again. Now we noticed it and it's fuzzy. Okay, I'm glad, I'm glad. And here you go to Frithly. You know what that's officially called? I don't actually. I was curious about the dots, yeah, because sometimes when I do fluff, I do it as like lines, but I wanted to make it look more like computer-esque. If this character is dressed like a Wii remote, does that count as WiiWare? I like that idea. If you need another text signal to put on the character, I would say that the Wii has an eject button. It does! What does that look like? I'm not opposed to it. I could also just put the Wi-Fi signal as the eyes. I don't know how you managed to draw without spinning or zooming out every 5 seconds. I think that I tried to work on like on brush confidence with my strokes, and it helps. The only time I zoom in is when I'm coloring the line art, because I like to make sure that it like looks clean, and I'm not just like coloring willy-nilly. Hold on, we can try the Wi-Fi symbol. Did I put this on its own layer? I did! Thank you, past me. Oh wait, wrong color. The big sleeves are itching my brain so good. To be honest, I need more OCs that wear big jackets. I specifically imagine this to be the kind of like jacket that's like water wicking too. The one, like a big, like, I don't know, like a big canvas-esque jacket. Almost shiny material. Oh wait, that's just the line art layer. Where is that? Or is it simply the... Is that on my screen? No. Okay. Hmm. It was just not colored. Like waxed cotton? Maybe? It's like the thing that reflective vests are made of. I don't know what that material is called though. But it's a little more comfortable than like actual like reflective vest, I would say. I think these need to be more curved if I'm making them Wi-Fi symbols. Polyester, it's usually just a coating. Okay, okay. The loading logo is called a throbber. I've never heard that before. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing. Okay, wait. One thing I will say is I might bring these up above the line art layer so that they're not getting cut off by the lines at the side of the eye. We cannot call it a throbber. It's a pretty funny name. We're not calling it that. I like Spinny Ball of Doom. I think Spinny Ball of Doom captures the feeling of it without it being called throbber. I mean, I do like that. It's already called that. We cannot change the world. Maybe we can. What if I can change the world? What if I'm different? Okay, that's cute. That's cute. I think if you're going to zoom in a lot, you need a reference window. I could see that, and so you can see what it's overstimulated because new possible Pikmin related thing and Femcinel merch came out today. Oh, that's awesome! So I came back here to calm down. I hope this is a good calming environment. Anyone can change the world if you believe. Okay, so we're all gonna stop calling it a throbber. We will be the change we wish to see. This is usually where Lemmy would come out and be like, well, so now I'm going to call it a throbber even more to counteract your action. My wrestling... I was gonna... I knew. I was like, this isn't... Now this is what you're going to say. I know you. I would know you in every form. But it's like said in a friendly rivalry way. Alright. Nice. Misclicked and got jump scared by Critter Yeehaw. Like, I don't think I'll finish this tonight, but I am enjoying working on it, so I'm not having a bad time or anything. What animal is the adopt? You're making an ermine or a winter stoat. Because I thought that it would work really well with the kind of tech wear and the colors. What are we called? So the little loading ball, like the spinning loading ball, is called a throbber. Like, that's actually the name for it. According to chat, I am not an expert on the matter, but that is what I've been told. My informants have allowed me to, have given me this information. Okay, so I want to get the patterns on the jacket down. I would also really like to render the CD. I think I'm going to do a little bit of rendering on the CD. And then I could do an optional where I draw the things that are on the jacket that are hanging down. I'm an expert on it. I'm a coder, and that's the professional term for it. Awesome. Awesome and horrible, but I'm glad to know. I feel so informed. However, I bet I could get this up tomorrow, which would feel nice, because I think it's been a bit. The Sailor Soda Float was almost a month ago now, which feels crazy to say, but time does fly. The other thing that I'm realizing is that I should make these even on the sides. That would be proper design language. I like CDs for reasons. I actually don't think I know your reasons, Harpy. I just enjoy physical media in general. And I think the texture of CDs is nice. I am more partial to vinyls myself, though. Oh, good night. Oh, okay, I just saw the door closing and you grabbing it. I was like, bye. I love you. Hi. Okay. Anyway, I love you. Miscellaneous reasons? Okay, I'm curious now. Alright. Forrest was asking me if I was going to go to work with him again tomorrow. And told me I could stay up later, but I'm kind of like, honestly, I'm kind of tired. I did also wake up at 5. Yeah, I need physical media, and I need it to never go away, please. Honestly, I think the reason too we're seeing such a return to physical media. I posted a video that I watched about it that I thought was really interesting. Um, because nothing is really owned anymore, especially in like the modern age of like subscription services and rentals. Uh, People are sick of not owning the things that they pay for, and so I think people are retreating back to like the ability to physically have something to, watch and lend out if they so desire, which I'm all here for. I just think it's interesting that it's happening now. I realized I didn't have the segment of the sleeve, so these have got to move up. I might put them on their own layer so it's a little easier to do. Subscription services are making digital media hard to claim ownership over. Exactly. Actually, that's part of the reason that Lycas will always be free online. I don't care if I have a book printed of it. You will always be able to read my webcomic free online, because I think that, one, if your media is strong enough, I want it to be accessible. I think it will succeed regardless of whether or not it's free to read. And two, things existing free online is the only way they survive the test of time, because a publishing company will pull something down the second that they think that it doesn't make them enough money, and I would want my story to be preserved beyond its deemed lucrative nature, I guess, like how lucrative it is to a company.